Peace family, Michelle here from supersfarm. So I'm getting ready to go out and do some work. There's another video showing that, but I'm sitting here finishing the cup of tea that I also showed in the previous video. And I was just thinking of the passage that I read yesterday. Actually all week I've been reading the story of David, King David, and Samuel, 1st and 2nd Samuel. And it's been very enlightening and refreshing to read that story as an adult, especially the story of David and Goliath. And I never realized that David killed Goliath with Goliath's own sword. You know, we always hear about David and the slingshot, and the way that it's taught in like children's stories and children's books. And I actually went back to one of the children's books that we have in the house to make sure I wasn't crazy. It's taught that David slew Goliath with the slingshot and the stone, right? And for, I can understand why that would be the direction that the story is taught in a children's book. But as an adult, reading that David did, in fact, just kind of knock Goliath off his feet with that stone so that he could then kill him with his own sword, because David didn't have a sword, and then ultimately behead Goliath. I was like, whoa. Whoa, I do not remember reading that or even knowing that. And I asked Super, I was like, did you know that? He was like, yeah, that sounds familiar. I was like, it didn't even sound familiar to me. What church did you grow up in? Like, where did you learn that? What's wrong with you? But, it's just so awesome, because the very thing that the enemy was going to use to destroy David flipped it around and he used it to destroy him. And, I had already kind of been like in my feelings about this whole small stone, David taking down the enemy with a small stone, and realizing that the stone in David's hand was so powerful because he had practice with it. The word tells you that, he convinced King Saul to let him take on Goliath in the first place, because he was like, I saved my father's sheep from bears and lions, basically, with this stone, and even killed them, and pursued them, with the practice and with the honing of this skill that I have with this small stone. I just like to read the word for myself, just like I like to do many things for myself, if you follow our journey here on Super's Farm. And so when I read these stories and I become, I don't know, refreshed, renewed from a different perspective as an adult, it just gives so much more meaning to me. I mean, I had already been this week when I reread the story and I reread it again, and just realized that, it's the small things that God gifts us with that we have to hone, we have to refine, so that when our time comes, if needed, we can take down the enemy and use the enemy's own weapon on them. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Like in 2025, what is it? What skill is it that God has put in your hand that you need to refine, that you need to have a renewed commitment to make sure that when your time comes, you can honor your God, honor your family, and honor the gift that is within you. I mean, it just has truly, truly been been very refreshing and awesome for me. And I'm just overwhelmed. So I just wanted to share that. I'm gonna finish this tea. It's really good with the lemon. It gives it a nice little flavor. This is the blue butterfly pea flower, if you have not watched the previous video. All right, family, just wanted to share that little nugget with you as I was sitting here, drinking my tea, and I still had the camera set up. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna share this with my peeps. All right, family, peace. Okay, so this is the in-ground garden. You can see all of the roselle is spent. I have not pulled it out of the ground yet, but what I want to do here, I'm working on my plan for this year. So I really just need to make sure my rows are still looking good. If not, I can put that on paper, and then I'll know when I'm working off of the plan that I have some rows I need to work on. Here's my SketchUp from last year, 23. I guess for 24, because I have 24 here, no telling. But this is the most recent SketchUp I think that I have. Anyway, so I just kind of drew out what I knew were my dimensions here, and then I'm just going to go through and just sketch up the actual rows. The measurements are pretty much estimates, but this is the tunnel here that I have on the paper there, and of course there's the entryway. So when you come in, I've got a peach tree, which is right here, it's sleeping right now, and then this tunnel. And I was using this tunnel previously for like loofah and green beans, but 2 seasons ago I had an idea to use it for tomatoes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and explore that, because I've already used these 2 rows for tomato row. These have been my 2 rows for the last 2 years, I believe. So I need to move the tomatoes. This first row was potato row last year. Both of these rows actually. So I'll put the potatoes in like early February, and then I'll pull them out, say, I want to say mid-March, somewhere around there. And then the tomatoes will go in after. And I know that's not recommended because they're both nightshades and they both have the same type of disease, but I mean, I don't have a huge area here. I guess that's debatable, but anyway, that's the way I did it. So yeah, let me go ahead and at least put these 2 rows down on, and it looks like these 2 arches here also will still, they're still in good condition, so I'll use that. This little pallet situation was peanuts. Super planted peanuts one year, and so that's what he created this little box for, but he's taken some of the pallets away from here for other projects. So maybe we could just make a smaller little box or something. And then I have this box over there, and that is for that's a compost bin. So okay, so I drew the true arches there and the beginnings of the tunnel here, the arch tunnel. This is my peach tree. And I have 2 rows that were active, but I could fit a 3rd row here, but I'm just going to leave the 2 for now. And then I really need to count off my space here, because now I have the greenhouse. I have this fence that I left up last year with the intention of growing, actually not even the intention, I planted squash all down here, hoping that it would catch this fence and I could like trellis it, but that didn't work out. But I think I'm still going to leave it up here this year and plant the blue butterfly pea flower here and let it take over this fence. It does cut the garden in half, which can kind of get a little inconvenient during the day when you're working in here, but maybe I'll cut out a little door or something. We'll see, we'll figure it out, but I think I'm gonna leave this fence here. So now I have 1 row here. In front of the greenhouse, I think I could probably work in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4, so 1 full row, 4 small, 1, 2. sketch. It makes it look like I have a lot more space, so I'll have to go back and clean that up. That's why I use a pencil. But this is the behind the greenhouse now, and I think I still have 4 rows back here like I did in the front. So we'll see. This is 1, maybe 2, 3, maybe here, and I guess 4 here. Yeah, and then small little space there. These guys just follow me everywhere. They want to see what I'm doing. They want to help plant the garden. Alright, so I'm back in my shed. I went ahead and made those rows a little bigger just so that's more to scale. So this is going to help me determine what I want to plant where. So once I have all my rows the way I want them, then I will just go through and like label each row A, B, C. Coming on after the fact, I realized that I did not record the end of this process. So the reason why I label the rows with the letter is so I can go back and then write the specific crop that I want to plant there. So, you know, row A will be my sugar peas, and I have 3 sections on row A. So the first 2 will be sugar peas, and the last one I'm going to try some edamame, and then so on and so forth here. And you can see I have quite a bit of roselle there, and I'm actually going to have roselle growing in 2 other places in on the homestead. Exciting about that. I have these last 3 rows that are empty in the greenhouse. Maybe if you have any recommendations. The greenhouse is going to get hot. It's going to get very hot. So I try to put the warm weather crops in there, like the jalapeno. It doesn't mind a little heat. And then I have okra out here because the greenhouse is only 6 feet tall, and my okra plants could get, you know, upwards of 6 feet tall. So I didn't put them in there for that reason. But then I've got some flowers out here, and then, like I said, roselle, the whole back of the greenhouse. And I did indicate tomato row on the tunnel. Like I said, the what do you call those things? Cattle panel. The cattle panel tunnel. And so we'll see how that works out. That'll be new. And then I'm going to plant my shelling beans. They're called cow peas, but they're not actual peas. They're going to be, you know, hard beans that you harvest here on this side of the cattle panel tunnel. And yeah, so this is just kind of my process. I am a visual person, so this helps me to start to visualize, put down on paper what I'm visualizing. So I hope this process is helpful for you as well as you are planning your garden. Peace.